y'all. So it's definitely going to be a little bit of a Tron era. I used to do lives a lot. And I think I'm going to be bringing them back at least once or twice a week. That's the big goal right now, especially in the summer. So stay tuned for that. Still got to work on that. But what a better way to bring the lives, I thought, back than with Longlegs. One of those movies we've been anticipating for quite some time now. And here we are. We finally got the movie. It's been out. It's actually apparently Neon's biggest opening, I believe. $20+ million at the box office opening weekend. And this all just goes definitely to the marketing team that did such an amazing job with this one. Honestly, just an insane ride it's been these last couple of weeks with the Birthday Murders website. We've been making the videos, we've been talking about it, giving our theories, all of that. It's been fun. And I still have a couple more videos I want to do on Longlegs and discuss all of that because I really enjoyed the movie. I know it's been mixed back and forth. A lot of people are saying that they didn't like the movie at all. A lot of people are saying that it was misleading, all that stuff, and that's what we're going to talk about here. So this video will be up as a regular video. I just wanted to make a live because I think it's just the best way to do it. Like if I just spill everything I believe about the film and talk spoilers and all of that, and then it can just go as a live for anybody to watch after. If people want to come in and chime in, that's great as well, but I don't know. I usually don't do live, so I don't know. This was just an impromptu live I was gonna do. So definitely anybody listening, all that, really appreciate it. But let's just talk spoilers and all of that, right? So first and foremost, I really did love how this movie was set up. I think that the marketing team did a great job at really getting people to go and watch this, and none of us knew exactly what we were expecting, right? I think the lead up into this film was really crazy because as we were hearing it's the scariest movie of all time, of the decade, of the year. We were hearing Silence of the Lambs, all of these different and wild takes, right? Because it can't be all of that all at once, right? Like we all know that, right? And so when we sat down to watch this movie, I myself was like, this is Osgood Perkins, somebody who I've heard does these very wacky-ish type horror films. I know he did the film Hansel and Gretel a couple of years ago, and then he has another film called The Black Coat's Daughter, which many people are telling me to watch because apparently that's kind of close to what Longlegs is. But Hansel and Gretel, I have not watched that since it came out a couple of years ago, so I kind of knew what I was expecting with his style. Apparently, Nicolas Cage wanted to work with Osgood Perkins after Hansel and Gretel. We talked about Hansel and Gretel years ago. I want to rewatch it again, and I want to watch The Black Coat's Daughter, but very much so excited once I heard about Longlegs. So I want to get into that question too about Lee's dad because it's something I realized I never really talked about either. And what I really do wonder is if Longlegs was targeting Lee because he knew that her father wasn't around. Like Longlegs knew where Lee was. And I think that's a very interesting thing about it because I wonder if Longlegs' whole plan was just to target Lee and nobody else, right? And I think once he heard this plan from Ruth, I think that's when he started to realize, well, if I can't have her, then you're going to help me get a bunch of other ones. And I think that's when they put this whole plan together. I think there was more here in the film because one of the interesting things, if you look at the IMDb, is that the little girl who was Carter's daughter, actually there's an actress who was playing her who was an older Ruby apparently. And some people said that in the credits you could see that as well for the film. I don't remember that, but on IMDb you can see that there was a whole thing where there was supposed to be an older Ruby. So the little girl at the end, there was an actress playing her when she's older. So I wonder if there's some things missing here or if they're trying to work towards a sequel. I know a lot of people got pissed about thinking that this could be another film in the future that gets a sequel, but I don't know. Sometimes when you see these small budget films make a lot of money, these studios just see sequel, sequel, sequel. But yeah, definitely something that I was thinking about that. Yeah, somebody did say about the inverted triangle meaning the Father, and people were saying about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit with the inverted triangle, which was something that was blasphemous. Yeah, I do think that there is a problem nowadays with studios overhyping things, and they really want to drag a lot of people back into the theater with these pull quotes and all of these things, and it can backfire at times, I feel. And yeah, in a violent nature, I saw that a lot. I watched that movie earlier in the year, and when I saw how people were hyping that movie, I was just like, yeah, that's not going to be great once people go see this and realize what type of movie it really was. So I don't know. I'm over the whole pull quotes being like, oh, scariest movie of all time, scariest movie of the decade, things like that. I saw it within the Violent Nature too when they made that story they were talking about at a festival where apparently somebody had like gotten so scared they had to get out and things like that. Like I was just like, yeah, we got to stop overhyping these because movies can be good and it doesn't have to be this big sort of thing that makes them think like, oh, this is the movie that we have to watch. So I'm very curious to see what that's going to be like going in the future with all of these things right now. So let me pull up something real quick right here. There is definitely a possibility here that Longlegs was definitely in Lee's basement all of those years. And what's interesting to note too is that Longlegs was there because he talks to Lee and tells Lee that he remembers when she was talking about wanting to be an FBI agent all of these years. And then we see that that was something that apparently him and Roof laughed about when Lee told Roof about it. So yeah, Longlegs has been with Lee all of this time. And that makes it much creepier to think that you think about that she went to the house and Longlegs was probably there. Growing up, he was there. Roof and Longlegs were doing all of these horrendous acts, and Lee was living in that house, being there without any knowledge of it. Yeah, so let's see some of these right here. Yeah, I agree. Definitely not the scariest movie of the year. I saw the scariest movie of the decade too quote, and I was just like, oh man. And this was before I watched the movie. I was just like, this is definitely gonna backfire a lot because I know a lot of people who saw that and were like, that's why I'm gonna go watch it because people are saying this is the scariest movie of the decade of the. Somebody said the scariest movie of all time. Now, I do agree that this is a great movie and all of that, but I do think a lot of people were let down by that, and I see it throughout the comments on Twitter, on Letterboxd, things like that. People are saying that they really were expecting a lot more from Longlegs, and the big thing to me too was when I saw them making this whole like campaign about Nicolas Cage's look in the film, and they were like putting a black box around him for like the teasers and stuff like that. I was just like, well, a lot of people are about to be very underwhelmed by this because that would to me was just like, why are they doing this thing like it's going to be a huge reveal? Because yes, Nicolas Cage was scary, I think, when he first appears in the very first 5 minutes, but then after a while you sort of got used to it. It wasn't really as scary as that was, and I think that was one of Neon's biggest push for the movie was that teaser. If y'all ever watched it, the one where it was talking about Micah Monroe's first time ever seeing Nicolas Cage and the makeup and stuff, and that her heart rate went to like 170 beats per minute, and that her resting heart rate was 76. I think that was one of the most effective teasers that Neon put out for this, and then they showed Nicolas Cage with the box, like the black box on his face. It was definitely something where I was just like, okay, the marketing is doing a little bit too much with this one now because I was already sold on the movie, right? But that's just the case. So Pisces Moon Rising says we don't know why he's called Longlegs. So yeah, honestly, I was always looking for this, and today I actually saw an interview that he did, the director Osgood Perkins with Collider, where they asked him, why did you call the character Longlegs? And apparently it was just because it was something that sounded right. That's what Osgood Perkins says. So I don't know if there's more to it. Some other people are saying Longlegs could be in reference to a demon that has long legs or something like that. But the director himself is just saying because that's just the name that sounded right for it. So apparently that was it. Okay, so yeah, so let's read some more here. Oh yeah, I think that there was definitely a way here for that this to become like a little mini series of sorts as well, because I do think that this film kind of rushed its third act a bit. I would have preferred it to have an extra 20-ish minutes to kind of get things together, but that whole ending with Ruth and where she's just like saying everything she did, it did have some insane imagery, like when she's with the blood on her and she's like in the graveyard and things like that, but I do feel like it just felt a little bit too recap-ish to me. So that's something I didn't really vibe with as well. Yeah, I agree. Like I was expecting something scary here, but I feel like when people throw these words, the scariest film and all of that, that's definitely just me going like, this is not gonna be it, right? I just feel like it overhypes something, and then it sets those expectations high where you go into it and you try to not have these high expectations nowadays, because I feel like every movie that comes out this year has been given that title. And I've talked about it also with Immaculate a couple of months ago when I watched it. And the first time I watched it, I thought it was good, but I started seeing all of these like reactions and things like that, calling it one of the scariest movies of all time. And I was just like, oh, that wasn't that scary. But that's the thing nowadays, right? Oh yeah, the demonic doll when it was veiled, that was scary, especially when the eyes would turn on and you would just see these red eyes and they were just like through the screen. Those were definitely some of the creepiest things. Even before I watched the movie and I saw the trailer and things like that, those dolls were always like the scariest thing to me about the trailer, and just how Nicolas Cage sounded at times as well. Yeah, I definitely do think that opening scene was just the most impactful thing, because it was just quiet, the score, the snow, and it was just like creepy how you could only see like Nicolas Cage's mouth and below, and then when he just out of nowhere just comes down and looks at the camera and then it just cuts, that was just like sent chills, honestly. I think that's still one of the best scares we've had this year, and I've been wanting to look at that scene again, but I haven't seen it yet. But I'm definitely planning to rewatch it at some time in the theater again. Yeah, some people are theorizing that could just definitely be her dad as well, and it's definitely something that I've wondered is how would that be possible too. But I do want to rewatch it just to check out some things that maybe I may have missed as well. Yeah, the daddy long legs. I think that was something that when I was talking about the website in the previous videos, I was saying that could be definitely a thing about it, because all of the dads too are the ones that commit the crimes, and so like they're the ones that are doing it, the dads. So the long legs title could fit like that as well. Yeah, I definitely do think that when the mom was saying that at the end as well, it was definitely like terrifying, because she's basically telling Lee like, if you stop all of this, it's over for us. And it's like, oh, the mom didn't go into that, right? She didn't go into detail about what exactly was the whole like deal she had made with Longlegs before. She only said that she was helping Longlegs, but she never really went into detail of how she was helping Longlegs. So give me one second, let me get something right here. So I thought that that definitely was a thing right there with the mother and with Lee, is that we didn't know the exact deals that were being made with Longlegs and Roof, and what exactly it was all going to mean as well. So yeah, the mom's hoarding definitely was something. Like, did y'all notice that one scene when Lee is like making her something to eat, and she sees that her mother has been saving like her baby teeth and all of these other things in that box? I think that definitely was something more we could have gone into a bit. And I'm gonna watch it again, y'all. I am. I definitely do think this needs a rewatch, because there were some things in it that I want to look into a little bit more. I really do think that this movie was rushed. I do. And I talked about it earlier in the live, was that there are these, in the IMDb credits, there is somebody credited as adult Ruby, which is the little girl that Lee saves at the end. And I was wondering, like, where did this adult Ruby go in the movie, right? Because we never see the adult Ruby. And that makes me wonder if there were scenes that were cut or that were omitted, whatever the case may be. The Longlegs website, however, will be updated tomorrow, and I am making a video talking about what they're going to add to that. Now, I've been covering the website ever since it first came up online. I got like 4 videos on it, so I will be discussing that, because I'm curious what they want to add to that website now that the movie has come out, and what exactly could we be seeing more of Longlegs in the future. Could this become a series? I don't know. We could definitely see it. I just feel like also with that ending with Nicolas Cage, what did y'all think about that scene at the end? I'm curious, because it's a mixed bag for a lot of people I see. Because the movie goes when Lee saves Ruby at the end, but then it cuts and it shows the scene with Nicolas Cage back at the interrogation room, and he just like blows a kiss or something. I don't know. That definitely took me out a bit about the film, because I thought that the ending was just so dark and just so great when it was just on Lee. And then we cut to Nicolas Cage, and I was just like, what? It was just like, what? But I don't know. I'm gonna watch it again. Um, Definitely her dad, considering she didn't have one on the picture. Yeah, they don't really talk about Lee's dad here, which made me wonder as well, because a lot of people were saying too that why would Longlegs target Lee when they know that Lee didn't have a father, or once they saw she didn't have a father, and then every other thing was with the father, like it was all with that as well. So I don't know. I do think that also maybe Longlegs knowing Lee didn't have a father kind of made it more like, oh, he could be that father figure, a demented father figure, and sort of guide Roof to do these things because of that as well. I don't know. Maybe Longlegs changed their whole thing once they met Roof. That could be a thing as well. Um, or appreciate that, Kim, about subscribing to the channel for my work on the website. I do have an update on the website tomorrow because it's going to update tomorrow, and I'm curious what they're going to put. So that video will be up tomorrow as well. Yeah, that part when Lee's boss Carter was just saying that he was gonna take his wife and like in the kitchen, like take her out and then come back for the kid. It was just definitely great acting from the actor Blair Underwood, which had Blair Underwood hasn't got enough credit in this movie because that final scene, I think he did such a great job at showcasing like this possession in a way where he's trying to fight it but not really, and it was just creepy just all over. It was just uneasy. Yeah, I really liked the movie as well. So yeah, that part we talked about it on the website updates. What was he doing for that decade, right, during that time? And I wonder if it was because Lee wasn't in the picture, right? Because Lee went on to live her life, right? I believe Lee is maybe in her 30s in this movie. And I believe that they were talking about when Lee was 20, she decided to pursue a career in the FBI, right? So what if Longlegs didn't feel a connection to Lee, or that Lee wasn't there this whole time, and that's what kind of made them stop? And then once Lee came back to become this agent, and that's when we saw that things started to happen again, right? And I feel like that's something that happened here. That's maybe why Longlegs took that decade break. It's the time that Lee took off to go to school and do whatever, become the agent, and then when she's officially back on the field, then we saw that Longlegs return because they have sort of this connection they've always had throughout the film as well. Yeah, that voice on the telephone, oh man, that was just creepy. Like I was not expecting that at all. Yeah, the supernatural thing I heard threw a lot of people off. So I think that was the problem with a lot of people saying this was like Silence of the Lambs, because I think a lot of people, like, there's nothing wrong with horror, but I know some people don't want to have horror or supernatural when it comes to thrillers or these like serial killer agent movies, kind of like Seven. And I think that was a whole thing with the marketing where it was saying it's this, but then other things were saying it's that. And so I think it was just all over the place. So like I understand the supernatural thing being like what is going on, but when I was reading the website, like it kind of hinted towards that as well. So that's what I was thinking. Um, so yeah, the mom in the nun outfit, that was definitely terrifying. I will agree, especially when she was in the graveyard and she was like covered in blood and stuff like that. I think some of the most powerful imagery too, even before the movie came out, was the imagery of the mom as the nun and she's covered in blood and stuff. That was just like crazy. And I am making a couple more videos on long links and some other horror stuff. So if you're watching and you want to talk more horror movies and stuff like that, really appreciate you if you subscribe and turn that notification bell on. But we got a ton of other stuff we're talking about this week as well. Let's see. Oh, that would be crazy, actually. I didn't even think about that. So I'm reading right here, Mad About Maya, talking about a theory that they could possibly be making a sequel and that they might say it tomorrow because it's the 14th tomorrow. That is actually crazy to think about if they are, since today was the 14th, well, the 14th, and then they are updating the website actually tomorrow as well. So I don't know, maybe you might be onto something. It did make a lot of money. I would be surprised if Neon doesn't jump on it as well and want to make a sequel. So we'll see tomorrow once that website updates. And I'll make a video as soon as that updates. I'm telling you, I'm excited. So we see here Bella talking about Lee connections to the occult. Yeah, so Yeah, that's definitely something I think that is interesting about this is about mother sacrifice, as Bella says as well, and that's definitely something I do want to talk about as well in an upcoming video where I want to talk more about everything happening here. And you know what's interesting too is I had read an interview where Osgood Perkins talked about how this movie kind of is about not really like trying to shield your like. Well, he said something that was about like protecting your children from the truth of the world and stuff like that, and then parents that don't do that. And it's something that we hear also Lee Harker's mother talk about is that she was trying to help her like grow up into the person that she is today as well. And I think that there really is a parental theme here about sort of doing whatever it takes for your children, like Bella said as well. That's really a good theme there that they brought up as well. That makes me think about it a little bit deeper as well. Um, yeah, it definitely grew inspiration from that. I did see the interview where Osgood Perkins talked about that. That's where he started off. Like he wanted to talk about Silence of the Lambs, but give it a bit of a twist as well. So that's definitely what we're seeing here as well. Yeah, I would definitely say that that is definitely the demon or the devil, since that's who Osgood Perk. That I'm getting all of these confused now, but that's who Nicolas Cage's character of Longlegs was working for, apparently, or trying to do that. Yeah, I could definitely see that spell working on them in the snow as well. It's definitely something that he was doing because he did these gestures a lot and was trying to really get into their lives, right? Because he knew that he couldn't be the one to bring these dolls to the families, right? Because he saw how Ruth reacted. She saw this strange guy just trying to bring a toy or a doll. It definitely wasn't something that was going to work with other families. So I think he kind of knew deep down that it wasn't going to work. And maybe once Ruth told him that she'll help, maybe he just like, yeah, this is actually the way to do it. Appreciate you, Richard, subbing. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of lore, especially if you check out the website and stuff like that. There's so much on there that they haven't even begun to discuss. So I'm definitely interested if they want to do something with that. Hey, everybody joining. Appreciate y'all joining here. We're just talking Longlegs, spoilers. You can spoil, talk about anything right here. That's what we're doing right now. Yeah, so the red piano, that was definitely interesting as well, Maya, because that's something that they talked about on the website as well, that there was a red piano at every single crime that Longlegs committed. There was a red piano all the time. So I thought that that was interesting. They haven't discussed it yet, but I'm hoping tomorrow on the website we get some insight about that as well. It's kind of crazy, too, to have Maxine and Longlegs back to back, right? Oh yeah, if they definitely do decide to do a part two, I hope they do take their time and really weave out this lore because I think there's so much to do. Yeah, that's who people were telling me actually, Bella, about the whole thing with Longlegs. They were talking about this demon, and we're saying that that could be who Longlegs was working for, apparently. So I believe that there was a total of 9 families. So there were 9 dolls that were here. Those were just from the website. If we're adding the whole thing with the movie, maybe there were like 10, because they didn't talk about some of the crimes on the website. Because I don't believe on the website they talked about Carrie Ann Camera, and they didn't talk about Ruby either. They just talked about the other ones. So maybe there was like 10 or 11 dolls, I believe. But I believe they were using the same doll and they're just dressing them like the child, because I think Ruth talked about taking the doll away, because if I'm not mistaken, they never talked about the doll in the crime scenes, right? They never did talk that there was a doll there. Um, so yeah, that's the thing. Was Lee Harker going to be the first one? Because we don't know if Longlegs had been doing this prior. And I think that if we look at the website, so the movie takes place in 93, I believe. And according to the website, so let's pull the website up really quick right here. I believe it says that the first crime that was committed from Longlegs was in 66, which would be about 25 year-ish before we get to the film. So maybe, I don't know. Opening, I believe. if that could be the first one right there.
Box office opening weekend, and this all just goes
Um,
definitely to the marketing team that did such
yeah,
an amazing job with
definitely.
this. Honestly, just an insane ride it's been these last couple of weeks. With the birthday
I don't know if there
Monsters
could be a
website,
second
we've been
part,
making
but I was
videos
talking about it earlier
talking
that there
about it,
was a
giving our theories,
whole
all of
actress
that.
that was
It's
supposed to
fun.
play the
And I still
adult
have a couple
Ruby,
more
and they
videos
never
I wanna
showed her.
do
So
on
I'm wondering if they're
Longlegs
trying to
and
save
discuss all
something
of that because
for
it's
the
been
next
really
film,
good.
like
I know it's
something
been
with
mixed
Ruby or
back
where
and
she
forth.
is
A lot
now,
of people
right?
are
That could
saying
be
that they
interesting
didn't like the movie at all.
to have
People are
right
saying
there.
that it was misleading, all that stuff, and that's what we're gonna talk about
Yeah,
here.
so
So this
what
video will
apparently
be
I
up
was
as
reading
a
with the
regular
website
video.
was that he
I
would
just wanted
read
to
this
make
book
a
that
live
was
because
talking
again,
about
it's just the best
rituals
way to
and
do it.
religion
Like
and
if I just
magic, and
spill
he would
everything I
leave
believe
pages of that
about the film
on the
and
crime
spoilers
scenes.
and all of that,
And
then it can
that
just
was
go
definitely
live for
something that
anybody
he
who watches
was
after.
really
If you
into,
wanna
is this
come in and
magic
chime
and
in,
occult.
that's great
And
as
one of the
well. But I don't know,
pages
I
in
usually don't
particular
do
was
lives. I
about
don't
the
know. This was just
soul
an
and
impromptu
transferring
live I
souls
was
and
gonna
things like
do.
that.
So
I believe he was
definitely
like trying
anybody
to,
listening
or
all
he
that, we
did
really
end up
appreciate it.
transferring
But
his soul into
let's
the
just talk
dolls
about
at points.
spoilers and all
And
that,
this is
right?
kind of what made
So first
all
and
of that
foremost,
like
I
in the
really
family go
did
crazy, because
love
he was like
how this movie was
infiltrating their
set up.
house with their souls.
I think that the
I was
marketing
surprised there
team
was nothing
did
at the
a
post
great
credits too.
job
I was
of
sitting there
really getting
waiting. I thought
people
there was
to
gonna
go
be like
and watch this.
another thing,
And
and
none of
yeah.
us knew exactly what we were
Yeah, in the
expecting,
movie there
right?
was only
I
one
think the
in
lead up into this
Harker's
film was really crazy
bedroom, right?
because
That was
we
the
were
only
hearing it's
red
the
piano.
scariest movie of all time.
I was
for
surprised too.
decades.
Longlegs looked the
Here
same as he
we're
was.
hearing Silence of the Lambs.
There was a
all of these
copycat that was
different
mentioned who also tried to write in ciphers,
takes, right?
which makes me
Because it
wonder
can't be
if
all
maybe
that all
that
at once,
person
right? Like, we all
had
know
been the
that,
first
right?
one to try and
so
help
when
Longlegs.
we
But I'm
sat
curious
down
to
watch
see
this
what tomorrow they'll
movie,
say
I
on the
myself was
website
like,
as well.
This is Osgood Perkins, somebody who I've heard does these
Yeah, so the
very
spheres, they never
wacky,
really like
ish
tell
type
us what
horror
exactly
films. I
is
know
the
he
way
did the
that they
film
work,
Hansel and
but
Gretel a
from
couple
what
of
he
years
would
ago,
read
and
these
he has
occult
another film
magic
called The
books, I'm
Black
assuming
Coat's
that's
Daughter,
how
which many
he
people are telling me to
came in
watch
possession
because
with him.
apparently
And
that's
one
kind
of
of
the
close
pages
to
that he
what
actually
Longlegs
read
is.
in the books
But
that he
Hansel and
would
Gretel
leave
have
behind,
not
it talked
watched
about
that
this
since a
like
couple
king
years
who
ago, so I
would
kind
like
of knew what I was expecting
leave
with the
like
style.
things poisoned
Apparently,
around
Nicolas
with his
Cage
like
wanted to
essence
work
or
with
something like
Osgood
that. So I
Perkins
think that's
after Hansel
something
and Gretel. We
that
talked
he
about
was
Hansel and Gretel
doing.
years ago. I want to rewatch it again, and I want to watch The Black
And I
Coat's
think
Daughter,
that
but
he
very
definitely
much
like
so
did that
excited
in
once
the
I heard about
interrogation room, because
Longlegs.
he
So
knew that he could go on to live
I
longer
wanna
because he was
get into
in
that
these
question too
dolls.
about
And
Ruby's dad
I
because
think
it's
that the whole
something I
trauma that he
realized I
caused
never
everybody,
really
he just
talked
said that
about
his
either.
name would live on as
And
well.
what I really do wonder is if Longlegs
Yeah, I
was
feel like that
targeting
whole thing
Lee
that he was
because
just trying
he
to get
knew
caught
that
right
her
at the bus
father
stop, because he was
wasn't
just there
around.
like nothing,
Longlegs
and then
knew
they were
where
just
Lee
like,
was.
"Yeah, we
And
got
I
you."
think that's a very interesting thing about it because I wonder if Longlegs' whole plan was just
So
to
let's
target
see
Lee
this.
and nobody else, right?
Yeah,
And
somebody
I
had told me
think
too
once
about the
he
Black Coat's
heard
Daughter,
this
that
plan
this is
from
kind of
Ruth, I
sounding
think that's when he
similar to
started
that
to
film, and people are
realize,
saying,
well,
could
if
this
I
be
can't
like
have
in the same
her,
universe?
then you're gonna
I'm
help me
gonna
get a
watch that
bunch of
movie
other
this week
ones.
because
And
I'm
I think
interested
that's
in
where
that
they
one. I
put
haven't
this whole
watched it
plan together.
myself.
I think there was more here in
Um,
the film because one of the
yeah,
interesting things,
the
if
one
you
from
look
the
at the
tool shop, the doll
IMDb,
as well.
is
I'm
that
curious
the little
about
girl
that as
who
well.
was Carter's daughter, actually there's an actress who
Yeah, I
was
think
playing
Longlegs
her
did more
who was
like
an
plastic
older
surgery
Ruby
or
apparently.
makeup or something, right?
And
In the
some people
time when
say
we
that
first saw
in the
him to
credits,
the
you can
end of
see
the
that as
film.
well for the
That's
film.
what I
I
was
don't
wondering
remember
as
that, but
well,
on
what was
IMDb
going
you
on
can
there
see
as
that there
well.
was a whole thing where there was supposed to be
Oh,
a
I'm sorry, there's like an echo, y'all. I hope that I took the echo away. Hopefully that should have fixed it. Was there an echo the whole time, or was it just like the last couple of minutes? Yeah, now I'm gonna have to edit this video a bit. Let's see. Alright, so hopefully that wasn't throughout the whole video. I'll try to fix that before this goes up live as well. Yeah, some people are telling me the Black Coat's Daughter. I should check that out as well. Yeah, so I think he might have been intentionally trying to come off as an older woman in order to get the trust of the people, right? I think that's definitely something that he was trying to do by the end of it as well. Yeah, I think he was definitely trying to get caught because I feel like he knew he needed to tell Lee what was going on because he knew that he was getting like cornered and this was going to be his last chance to really get to Lee, and that's what he was trying to do right there. So I think that the director of the film talked about why he would like put white makeup and stuff like that is because he was obsessed with like glam rock in that era. If you see behind him in his lair. He does have like these posters, and he was like obsessed with like T-Rex, Lou Reed, these like glam artists that would put white makeup. So I think that's why he was doing all of that as well. Uh, Yeah, I believe that once he did die, like things just changed because they also talk about when Longlegs died that apparently Carrie Ann Camera, who was played by Kiernan Shipka, the girl with the short hair, the one that Lee went to visit at the psych ward, that she died as well. So I think he started to set something in motion with that also, and his essence was like spread around. Yeah, so definitely can see that him wanting himself as well to be a doll is a thing because he is the doll maker, like you said. And I'm curious, I'm telling you. Um, yeah, so Black Coat's Daughter, I think it's on Hulu, I believe. I'm gonna check and see, but I do want to check that out and talk more about that film because a lot of people are telling me if you like Longlegs to watch that. So I don't know, I haven't watched it. I remember, I think when it first came out, I think it went on DirecTV or something like that. And I remember seeing trailers for it like a while ago, but I never got a chance to watch it as well. Yeah, I don't know. The ending did feel a little rushed for me, but I just feel like they had more story but didn't tell it because maybe they want to save it. Because, like I said, apparently there was an actress playing the older Ruby. So I don't know. There could be definitely something here because Ruby, we saw that Lee wasn't able to destroy the orb. I can't even talk out. The orb inside of her doll. So if her orb is still intact, that means Ruby's just gonna be like Carrie Ann, where she was in this like state, right, of just not talking, not doing anything. Yeah, I'm gonna try and watch it pretty soon and talk about it. I'll probably do a video on it as well. You know what? I didn't even catch that. A little of himself and a little of you in them too. I didn't catch. I gotta watch it again. Gretel and Hansel, yeah, Gretel and Hansel. Like once I saw that, I was like, yeah. When I saw that, I was into watching whatever Osgood was gonna do next. I thought that was interesting. So yeah, like I'm interested in seeing where they want to take this because, like I said, tomorrow the website is gonna update. So I'm curious what they're gonna talk about. Are they gonna talk about Longlegs and the murdering spree being over and what happened to Lee and to Ruby? Because, like I said, the doll is still intact from last we saw it. So that means that there is a little bit of Longlegs in there as well. Um, Oh, I didn't even notice that with the phone call with the mom at the beginning. I'm gonna watch it again. I hope maybe before it leaves theaters. I don't know if this week, but I do want to watch it again because there's a lot of details. Like people have been telling me things they've noticed that I didn't notice the first time. So I'm definitely wanting to see that. Yeah, people tell me the Black Coat's Daughter is very similar, so I'm interested in that as well. Yeah, that test was interesting as well. I think that Micah Monroe, there is a video where she takes an actual FBI test. I haven't watched that, so I'm curious to see if they're all like similar to that as well. Yeah, so I do want to listen to the soundtrack. I listened to a couple of them, but I haven't listened to that track, Water. I'll definitely get into that. Um, Oh yeah, the phone call at the end was very creepy for real. I do want to make a video where I'm gonna like talk about all of Longlegs' crimes in chronological order and go over them, especially now that I've seen the movie and there was more talk about that. I want to make that video like all of Longlegs' crimes and try to piece it all together. So that video, I think I want to put that out maybe by Wednesday or Thursday. Just talking about all of Longlegs' crimes and try to see if we can find a chronological order for why he stopped and Lee Harker's life as well, what she was up to. Because I don't remember if she was 33 or 30. I know she wasn't. She was at least in her early 30s in this film, and so I want to piece it all together and just go back and look at that website. But I'm gonna wait for the website to update and see what they put about that as well. Um. Oh, okay. So there was like phone calls as well, and the Black Coat's daughter like that. Yeah, I'm curious about that as well. And what do y'all think about that whole Nicolas Cage when he first like really pops up, right? Well, we see him pop up at the beginning, but then when he's like in that store trying to buy something, he's doing like things with his hands, and then he's in the car driving. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about that. Yeah. What's the question? Yeah, there she is. That was creepy once he was saying that. I do hope there is like a director's cut of some sorts and we can see more because I feel like there's something about everything happening. Yeah, I'm not too sure about Lee what she had. Well, apparently they were talking about that in like her situation, she had her mind sort of still stuck to this doll and that kind of like made her have this foggy brain of sorts. I believe that's why she was acting that way at times. Yeah, that's something I've heard people talk about is that they knew this Agent Carter's daughter was having a birthday coming up, but that they didn't really track that it was on the same dates that Longlegs was doing everything. I'm curious about that too. That definitely feels like a bit of a thing that got brushed over too quick. Yeah, that was definitely how Carrie Ann was, right? Like she was still under like a spell or something. She was just like dazed. Yeah, the cuckoo. Cuckoo is really funny that they're using that here, and then Neon has another film coming out next month called Cuckoo, which is interesting. I feel it's kind of like a funny, like I guess like it just happened. Yeah, I think it's just so crazy. And when I rewatch this movie again, I'm just gonna be thinking about that whenever they're in that house. Is that under them is Longlegs. The man downstairs, as Longlegs says too, which is crazy to think that Lee was just living with this man all of her life and she had no clue, and that her mother was out there doing these horrific crimes. And it is just crazy. And I really do think that the imagery at the end with the nun and the blood and all of that definitely just adds even more horror to this as well. So yeah, it's crazy honestly, and I'm like excited to talk more about the film. And tomorrow the website's updating, and I'm definitely gonna be making a video. So make sure y'all subscribe if y'all are just tuning in. We've been talking Nolan Links all month, and I think we still got a couple of videos we want to talk, but we talk other stuff too. So don't think I'm just talking about Long Links. We talk about another horror film coming out this week, Oddity, Trap. Like there's so many horror movies that I'm talking about. So if you're subscribed, really appreciate you. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe, and appreciate you, Shay, for subscribing as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, that part was funny when the girl just said that gross guy's back, and then you see just Longlegs go in his car and just start screaming, the daddy, the mommy. I've seen so many videos about that online. People are just talking about that one scene because it just came out of nowhere. You don't know to laugh, but then you're thinking this guy is in like this is creepy. What's going on? Yeah, I think that it could be like both Longlegs is the man downstairs, but I think he's talking about like the devil or the demon, whoever is downstairs. Yeah, that's definitely what I've been hearing a lot of people say is that they watched the movie and they really didn't feel like the movie did as much as all of the theories, all of the lore that we've been talking about. So I feel what you're saying. I've seen a lot of people talking about that as well. Yeah, that's the thing. Why wouldn't the mom go to the police? But I feel like the mom really did get this whole demon thing and believe it. I mean, it. That's the thing with the movie, right? Like, it is like there is something supernatural going on here, and I think the movie tries to like go back and forth with is this supernatural or is this real? But I think by the end it says, yeah, this is all supernatural going on, for sure. So yeah, we talk about the yeah. That's the thing that I feel like this movie does leave a lot that hasn't been answered as well by the end, right? Yeah, so I think that who called Lee was just either Longlegs' spirit of sorts, or you could say it's the demon that Longlegs has been trying to appease or do the rituals for. Because I think Longlegs' his whole goal was to do a ritual or kick something off, and start some end of days type of thing. They do talk about Revelation a lot, Revelation 13:1 apparently, which is why he was doing everything in the first place. Longlegs says it at the very end in the interrogation room with Lee, and Lee's mother also says it as well. So I think they were trying to do some ritual for some demon, maybe to bring them forth. That's all I can think right there. Oh yeah, that's definitely it. I was wondering too, like before we knew Longlegs was down there, I was like, what could be behind that door? Like, and that's what made me start to think that there's something else going on here with the mom as well. But yeah, it was Lee's connection to Longlegs, I feel too. Yeah, that's definitely true. When Lee says that they stopped with their prayers, that definitely was our first indication. And that's why I'm like, when you rewatch this movie, I wonder if you start to pick up on certain things we did in the first time as well. Yeah, the theories were fun to talk about. I really enjoyed it as well. Like, we're just wondering what exactly is going on here. Like, what is this whole thing where, like, these families are being, like, murdered and there is no other person to blame but the father? But then there's these, like, notes being left behind that weren't written by anyone in the house. I thought that was definitely a crazy mystery throughout, but it was fun. It was fun. Um, Yeah, there was something they were trying to bring forth, right? They were trying to like summon something. They don't really say what exactly or who, but there was something they were trying to do. And I always believed that they were trying to trap these souls as well, and that's was their end goal. And I talked about that too in my theory videos as well. Yeah, I was wondering too because one of the things I thought about too after watching it was that the nurse, Lee's mother was a nurse, so I don't know if there was like drugs or anything involved too, right, with the families. Yeah, Alicia Witt. She's been in so much, and it was funny because Alicia Witt. I was just watching the movie Urban Legend like 2, 3 weeks ago. I didn't even know she was in the film when I was watching that film. So it was honestly funny to see Alicia Witt in this, and I want to see more of Alicia Witt. She was great in this. Yeah, I do see that as well with the mother. Maybe the demons and the evil forces infiltrated her too much, and we saw what ended up happening was maybe she just got so detached and was so about doing whatever Longlegs wanted her to do, right? Yeah, I think that one of the things here is that the movie relied on you maybe keeping up too much with the marketing and too much with the website. And there are some people that didn't even know about the website. Apparently, I'm finding out. So when you go and see this movie, you don't really get the sense that anything that has happened is like horrific or any of that. But when you see the website, you hear about these horrible crimes and you're just like, this is insane. But if you watch the movie only and you didn't pay attention to any of the marketing, which I don't blame anybody who didn't, because it is a lot to keep up with, I just feel like it maybe leaves you kind of lost in it a little bit. Yeah, definitely agree with Omar too. That makes sense about the limbo as well being there, just like Carrie Ann was as well. And I feel like that's the same thing with Ruby. Yeah, I think it definitely is something that they have to, like I was saying in my theory video a couple of days before the movie came out, that maybe they're doing these murders in this way because it's blasphemous, right? And demons and all of that want blasphemous acts. And so, what this is very blasphemous to think is that a father who's supposed to provide and take care of his family is the one taking out his whole family. So, I thought that maybe that is what the demon wanted all of this time as well. Yeah, there was a whole website that Neon had put up, and I have videos if you want to check out the last one I did, where I would go over the website and all the information they would put. They would update it like every week with something new on there, talking about the case and all of that, and it was just crazy. They were just putting all these different. Tomorrow they're actually going to update it for the last time. I will make a video about that and go over the whole website as well. So if you want to check out that video tomorrow, stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Really would appreciate you. Yeah, I think that that really messed up with her belief as well because she even tells Lee that prayers don't work at a point. So I thought that that was definitely her like losing hope pretty much by the end of it. I would definitely be open to seeing something about how Longlegs came to be, right? Like, where did he even get this idea to start doing all of these things, right? And all of that. The website kind of hints at some of the books he reads, and we see also here as well. Yeah, I definitely do think that most people haven't seen the website for sure. I see it online all the time because there was so much on that website that kind of preps you to go into this movie. And I'm curious if that kind of changes the perspective on the movie after as well, right? I did notice that the priest got a little bit scared right when he saw the doll, and I wonder if it's because the doll's eyes started glowing, right, or it was Longlegs in there, and he was kind of mad to see a priest. And what I think is that that's why the mom got kind of intrigued, Carrie Ann's mother, with the thing, right? I think he sensed that evil as well about that doll and all of that. Yeah, I agree. There's definitely a lot with this marketing that kind of like hurt the movie because the marketing was like, this is the scariest thing you'll see. They're talking about people's heart rates watching the movie and things like that. And whenever I see that happen, I'm just like, oh man, it's asking for people to just be mad about it, right? Like they were just going to be mad about it because I don't think that a movie can live up to a lot of this as well. Yeah, there was a lot on the website talking about, and also, I mean, the human parts in the doll. We saw it with the hair that that doll had as well. Yeah, I do have videos on the website as well, talking about it. Yeah, apparently there was an older Ruby. I looked on IMDb, and some people told me that when they saw the credits in the theater, that apparently it talked about an older Ruby being listed in the credits. I don't remember. I didn't. I wasn't looking at the credits when they were playing. I was just sitting there waiting for like an after credits. Yeah. So if I go on IMDb right here, I do see adult Ruby Carter. There's an actress listed there. So I don't know if maybe they're saving that for a sequel or something like that. But yeah, I'm curious to see that. Yeah, appreciate you, Rob. I hope that y'all are liking the stream. I've done streams in the past before, but I kind of took a break from them. But I do want to bring them back at least once or twice a week. Maybe talk about other horror movies and things like that. So yeah, if y'all appreciate y'all on here, make sure you subscribe so you know when I go live and things like that. But tomorrow I got an update on the website for Long Legs, so stay tuned for that video for sure. Yeah, the cross, right? Like they would always pan, and I feel like that was just like them showcasing that this was like a moment, or this whole situation here was just demons and evil had infiltrated, right? There was nothing else but that. Yeah, it's definitely more unsettling, eerie, unnerving. Those are the words I would use. I don't know about scary. So yeah, I definitely do agree for that as well. Um, yeah, I agree. I think it was such a great movie as well, and it definitely is one of the good movies that have come out this year for me. I really liked it a lot, but I can see if you were let down by the movie as well, because they're like trying to say it's this and that and all that, and so it's all over the place, the marketing. And I know many people were expecting different things, but I don't know. I'm curious to see how other movies are gonna do as well this year as well. Is there any other horror movies that y'all are excited about that are coming out this year as well? Yeah, I definitely do think as well that this is definitely one of those movies you tell people to just watch. You don't go and tell them anything. Like I think if you go into this like with no expectations, you might get more out of it. And I mean, I'm like I'm not saying like you should go in every movie and just like it. Like you need to like it, right? Like I see it. I see why this movie didn't do as good with so many people, because it definitely is a movie that I feel required too much from the audience, right? Sometimes, but I don't know. It is a divisive movie. It is very divisive, and you know, it raises interesting questions. I feel Nosferatu. Oh yeah, I'm very excited for Nosferatu. I've been just talking about that movie for a couple of videos already, and I want to talk about it pretty soon as something happens. Yeah, that was crazy when Carter said to the wife, "But you're not coming back." Oh yeah, that was creepy too. When the mom was just trying to resist all of that, but she couldn't. Hey, it's okay, Shay. I know, like we all have different tastes and things like that, and I know that it definitely is a movie that is divisive, and if you didn't like it or not, it's totally cool, and I'm open to hearing why as well. Always open to hearing what people don't like and like for movies, because I always like just talking about movies. Oh yeah, I'm really excited for Oddity this week. I just watched the trailer for the first time today, and it just that doll just looks so creepy. And I've heard so many people telling me that this was just like, oh man, this Oddity apparently is really scary, really creepy, honestly. The substance looks really good too. I will say that. I watched the trailer too. I did a trailer breakdown a couple of days ago. I have not watched Mandy actually. I've been meaning to watch Mandy as well. And another film from Nicolas Cage that people have been telling me is really good is Pig apparently. So I'm gonna try and watch some of those movies as well. If you're looking for a comedy though, the movie with Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal is pretty good as well. Um, I forgot what it's called, but it's Nick Cage playing Nick Cage with Pedro Pascal in it. Pedro Pascal's not playing Pedro Pascal though, but it's like a comedy. So very off topic from what we're talking, right? Um, yeah, for me, like I said, I like the movie a lot, but I do think that the third act was a little rushed. Like I feel like they could have added 20 more minutes to it, and I really would have been good with that. Yeah, I've heard good things about Mandy and Panos. I think has another movie coming out as well pretty soon, is right. So yeah, like I'm interested in so many horror movies. Yeah, apparently the movie is called Pig, and it's done by the same director that just did the new A Quiet Place Day One. That same director did Pig with Nicolas Cage. I haven't watched it, but people tell me to watch it. I don't know if it's a horror or what, but I haven't looked into it much because I'm just gonna go in and watch it without watching anything just to see what it's all about. Yeah, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. That is the name of the movie where Nick Cage plays Nick Cage, and it's just a trip. Honestly, it's one of the funniest movies I watched that year. I think it came out in 2022. So yeah, this week I am talking also about Trap, which is another movie I'm very excited for. That's going to be coming out next month. I've watched Cuckoo already. I do have a review for that up, which comes out in next month as well. Next month we also have. I'm trying to think of what other movies we have next month, but so far, yeah, Trap and Cuckoo are two movies I know are coming out next month that I'll be talking about as well. I was kind of like interested in seeing where Longlegs was gonna go, Luca, and then Longlegs just completely left at the end. So I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting right there. If I've watched some horror films from Southeast Asia, I'm trying to think. I've seen a couple of Asian films. I'm trying to think specifically Southeast Asia. The most recent Asian film I did see, which I do have a review coming out for the Korean film Exuma coming out tomorrow, but Southeast Asia, I'm not too entirely sure if I've seen one recently. Yeah, that was creepy when he was there as well. Yeah, way too early for me as well. Uh, Yeah, Shay, I've seen some people say that they laughed at the scene when Nicolas Cage is in the car driving and he just starts screaming, and the one where he's dancing in the snow and I don't know what he's singing. So I do see what you're saying as well, because some people have told me they were just laughing at it, and it's funny, right? Like we all watch the same movie, but we all have these different reactions as well. And I always love seeing that these different reactions everybody has. I think it's just great to talk about them all and just have these discussions, because I think it's just interesting how we all watch the same thing but we all react differently. So I'm always happy to see all of that as well. Yeah, Solomon, I will be talking more like films I've watched in the past that I never covered or any of that. I'll be talking more about those as well. So I do got a list, and I made a list on my notebook of other films. I do want to talk about other foreign films I've seen as well. So, but that's great bringing it up as well. Really appreciate that as well. Cuckoo, honestly, to me, is like the most well shot film that I've seen in the year. Maybe the most, but it's definitely top three. Like, it is just beautifully shot. And there's another film that's going to be coming out in August that's beautifully shot as well called Strange Darling, which is more of a thriller mystery. I watched it at Fantastic Fest. And it is definitely a film that I feel is going to get a pretty good cult following. Strange Darling. That's the name of that film. Yeah, I do agree that there was definitely um, a lot of moments in this film that were just wacky and bizarre, right? And just made you like laugh. And a couple of people did laugh at my theater as well at some of these moments as well, for sure. Let me see. I lost my saw it right here. Cuckoo is a film. I think there was a trailer for it during Longlegs, but it's a film where you have this family that goes to a retreat, and then there's like these weird things happening around them. There's like this strange woman that's stalking them, and she's kind of, I don't know. That's all I'll say because it kind of goes into spoiler territory, I feel. But they're in this like mountain resort type place, and this strange woman is like stalking them. She wears like a hood, she has glasses on, and it's like a very crazy film, I will say that. But there should be a trailer out if you wanted to look that up. Cuckoo. It's from Neon as well. Yeah, definitely always great to have somebody that to watch horror films with, for sure, definitely. But yeah, like I was saying, this movie definitely got me interested in seeing where they take it next, right? Because I'm just curious, what is Neon gonna put on this website tomorrow if the movie already came out, right? Are they making an announcement for something? Sequel? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. In the interrogation room, it's like he was saying that this was all part of the plan, right? Like this was going to be the thing where he was going to definitely ascend, if you will, to that next level. Oh yeah, they follow. I'm very excited for that as well. I definitely do wonder what's next with that. I think Micah said that she's already seen the script for it and that it's crazy and not what anybody expects, apparently. I haven't watched the director of It Follows next film that came after It Follows, which was Under the Silver Lake, I believe, but a lot of people tell me to watch that. So, very excited about that. So scariest movie of the year. What would I say that would be? Let me. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say what's scary, right? Sometimes because I think we all get scared of different things throughout. I really liked The First Omen a lot. I do like that. I think that might be one of my favorite horror movies of the year. I'm still trying to think of how to do it, right? Like my ranking. Because I really like The First Omen just because I like the imagery and the way it was shot and stuff. Um, but I'm curious to see what it's definitely gonna be still coming up. So very excited for that as well. So yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious about that for sure. What is y'all's favorite horror movie this year? Or what would y'all say is the scariest? I don't know. I gotta think about it. I'm gonna do a video actually. My top horror movies so far, and which ones do I think is the scariest for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they could do with a sequel either, but we'll see what happens because I'm curious to see. The Void, Darkness, Terrified. Oh, Terrified I've been wanting to see. I haven't watched The Void either. Um, Let me see actually, because I do have them on. I think on Letterbox, the ones that I've watched this year. So I don't know. Would y'all say Cuckoo? I mean, would y'all say that Longlegs is on the scariest for y'all? Let's see. So I don't know actually what the scariest one. It's kind of hard to say, right? Because I did like Late Night with the Devil. I did like The First Omen. Exuma was a recent horror film that I think had some pretty cool imagery as well. I definitely try and think about it though. I'll put that in the video. Which ones I think could be the scariest one for sure. Let's see. Yeah, that's true. He did talk about the ex-wife, the one that was doing the autopsy. So I thought that was interesting that Nick Cage is still there trying to get somebody to commit a crime, right? Oh, I'm gonna try and watch some of these films as well. Come True, I have not watched yet either. Prequel to Longlegs, that would be interesting for sure. I would definitely be interested in something like that. But yeah, so let me see. I'm gonna go off some of the films that I've watched this year that are horror. Um, Last year, I think one of my favorite horror films was When Evil Lurks. That was just crazy, and that was definitely, I think, my top horror film of last year. This year, so horror film wise, I watched let's see, In a Violent Nature. I watched Cuckoo, Immaculate, The First Omen. We watched The Watchers, Quiet Place Day One, Long Legs, and so far I think those are the ones that we've watched for sure. Um, Oddity, I hear so many people are saying that's the movie to watch for horror. Like people are saying that's the horror movie of the year, so I'm excited to watch that. Oh, Talk to Me was so good too last year. I almost forgot about that one. Definitely, Talk to Me's up there as well. Yeah, but Oddity, so many people told me that is the horror movie to look forward to, so I'm excited about that as well. And I mean, look, Talk to Me got a sequel. That's what I'm talking about. Like sequels just happen out of nowhere. I remember that the directors were saying they weren't sure if they were going to do a sequel, but then Talk to Me did so good, and now we have a sequel coming up, Talk to Me 2, which is crazy. I have not watched Ghostland. I'm gonna add that to my list as well. Tarot was just like the monster designs and everything were so cool because they were done by the same person who designed the creature Siren Head, which was the reason that I watched that movie because I was just like, I got to see what they did because I really was into reading Siren Head and all of that a couple of years ago. Yeah, there was something definitely wrong with Lee's mother at the beginning for sure. Yeah, Terrified, I heard is the same people, so I definitely want to check that out because I really enjoyed When Evil Lurks. Satan Slays, I've heard about that. I haven't watched it. I'm gonna add it to my list for sure. I'm gonna save a lot of these. I'm actually gonna put them in some notes right here. Thanks for that. Yeah, Immaculate, I think was really hyped up. I think just that last act was crazy. Other than that, I feel like it was very hyped up for sure. Oh, I feel like I've heard of that film as well, but I, I, I haven't really looked into it either. Yeah, Tarot was crazy because I think Tarot is like one of the films this year that did really good at the box office apparently, and all the way up until the very end, people went to watch it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it either, but I was just excited to see what they were gonna do with the designs, just because I like the person who designed the creatures. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of films for sure, like that I'm excited to talk about, but I think I'll be on like 5 more minutes, and then we'll just definitely call it. And I'll definitely try and do another live probably Wednesday. Maybe I'll try to work in lives into the channel more often. But yeah, so just let me know which movies y'all are excited for that are still coming up. And I got a ton of videos coming out throughout that I already have planned with other movies as well. A couple more with long links for sure. Yeah, The Substance looks great. And I've heard so many great things about that third act for The Substance. People said it gets really, really crazy, especially the body horror. And yeah, that's definitely one I have put up there to check out. Oh, Alien Romulus too. I'm excited for that. I'm very jealous. There were some people that got like a VHS like Alien Romulus thing, and it had apparently a scene in it, and you could only play it in the VHS. I'm still curious to see what that had, but I've been seeing people put it online. I think it was mainly like the bigger press that got it. Terrifier 3 is another film that I'm curious what they're gonna do with that, right? Because the last one went crazy apparently too. Yeah, Late Night with the Devil. I don't know. A lot of people didn't said it was just okay too, and some people said they hated it too. I've seen it on the videos I did for that back in April and March. It's definitely funny. Like you go into a movie and you're just like, "That was the best movie," and then you go online, you're like, "Wait, nobody else felt." I always love seeing that when that happens. Yeah, Trap looks really good. I have a Trap video coming out this week as well with some theories as to what could be going on because there was apparently some TV spots that played over the past week and it showed a little bit more. So I do have a video talking about Trap coming out this week as well. Nosferatu is definitely looking so good. That first trailer that we got. I'm curious to see how he looks, right, in the makeup and everything. Bill Skarsgård. I'm very, very curious about that for sure, and very excited for. But I really appreciate everybody coming through tonight. Really love talking to all of y'all. I love talking movies, horror movies, all of that. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We got some more lives coming this week, videos as well, and all of that. This week we also have Twisters. I don't know if anybody's excited about that on here. I will be watching it and giving you a review and all of that and initial reaction for it. That is coming out this week, but also Oddity. Oddity is another film I'm excited for. Life is so rich. Have a good night. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate you. And yeah, this was a great talk. I haven't seen the original Nosferatu since I think years ago. It's been a long time since I watched it. I do want to rewatch it. And I wonder if we should do like a watch party for it on the channel right before Nosferatu comes, because I think you can find it on YouTube or something like that. I think that'd be something cool to do right before the Nosferatu comes out later this year. We just do a watch party. We'll all watch it on live. I think that'd be fun to do. So that's something I've been planning to do. So yeah, I think that'd be cool. So I'll probably do more of an announcement about that later on as well. But I do want to do more things with the live for sure. Got a ton of videos. I post every day pretty much here, different types of videos. So if you're new, I post a video almost every day. We do also have a website as well, www.culturelixir.com, where we post news and stuff like that. So we got a ton of things for anybody and everybody. So yeah, I got some more plans for the lives and all that, but really appreciate everybody coming. Yeah, watch party, that'd be cool. We have definitely something I've been wanting to do for sure. I would definitely be, you know what? And there was a thing where Lee even said, actually, this will be the one of the things I'll close off with, is that had to be some way that Longlegs infiltrated the other families, and she even said like a child could have been used in order to bring the dolls to the other kids for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna be talking more tomorrow. We got the website update, so stay tuned for that. We're gonna talk whatever Neon puts on that website. And we got like 2 or 3 more Longlegs videos, but we got a ton of other stuff. So make sure you subscribe. Appreciate everybody coming through. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And thank you. Everybody have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. I post daily, so stay tuned. As always, stay safe and stay positive, y'all.